Alright. Alright. You are black at an 8Q level. Open corners. Joseki's. Perfect. That's funny. Perfect. Alright, doing great. Alright. So far, so good. Pro level, right? You're a pro? So, the AI... Thank you for the follow, Beginner Go. Welcome to the stream. Let me know if you have any questions. The AI says both of these are typically good, right? But my personal preference is to block on this side. If you don't have the corner on this side, then I don't want this sort of position. I don't like this position for black. So, let's imagine it's a Sanrense for black. Dude. And let's say they go 3-3. Thank you for the follow. Let me know if you have any questions. No. So let's say they do this, and then they 3-3 again. I would go this way, and then maybe double Hane, or maybe go for Sente, or something else. Or even just this, depending on the board. Simply because I really don't like this bowl without a corner. Now, with Sanrense, I may make an exception. But if I use this as my default of the minimum I'll accept, the minimum size of side I will accept for 2 corners, then anything less than that, I usually don't like it. So like if we just play Joseki, which he didn't. But let's say we play Joseki. I don't like having a side without any corner. It's not my preference. So here, I would probably do maybe something like that. And build the top side, and then I have a corner. I just don't like... the AI says it's fine. You're fine. My personal preference is not to do that, though. Oh... well, this is good for you. Can you go here? I think you can. I think you can. If he goes here, just fix. I think you could just Nobi. Just Nobi, and if he blocks, then fix. And he has to live. And then you have Sente. You didn't want to get into a fight? Well, I don't know. I feel like this is the time that you would want to get into a fight. Ooh, that was scary. So as I said, I have the door open, and flies been going in, but the flies I have a fly catcher for. But this was a bug that had a stinger, and it's one of those that inject venom. It's not a bee, but it's some type of insect that injects venom, and I got stung by those this year. I got stung by one of those this year. And I didn't realize what it was, and I went to just hit it off my computer, and I saw its stinger come out and hit the top of my nail. That would have hurt so bad. That was so close. It was so close to me just screaming bloody murder on stream. Oh, great. Great. Glad to see I could help. Murder hornet. It wasn't a hornet. It's there's some sort of insect that's not a bee, that has this really long stinger that'll inject venom. Because it's not a stinger that stings, it's a stinger that, like, puts itself, like, goes into your skin and injects venom. And spreads. And it freaking hurts! But it just hit the top of my nail. I was so close to dying. Yeah, it wasn't a wasp. It wasn't a wasp. I suppose this is fine. This is definitely a good exchange for black. I kind of want to do this. If he blocks, then I can Hane. And then you have this cut. Yeah, usually it's fine. I usually have the door shut. It's just I have a door wide open. Because it's a new building without any AC or anything yet. Thank you for the follow, Imaginary. And then if he goes up, you can cut. So I think this is... Tiger's Mouth is usually a vital point. Or a shape point. Maybe I should say shape point rather than vital point, because we're not talking about life and death. It's usually a shape point. Double Hane. I just live in the woods. See, I'd rather deal with insects than stupid people. You find a lot of stupid people in the city. Not everyone. There's a lot of nice people in the city. So I'm not insulting you. If you live in a city, I'm not trying to insult you. I'm just saying there's a lot of stupid people in the city. I'd rather deal with insects. No. Gooplet, you're not a stupid person. Alright, so he goes in. So now, we officially start, like, the middle game funness, right? Where we get to attack. Positive? I think that's one of my Go Club members, right? Yeah, that's one of my Go Club members. So, how do we attack this? How do we attack this? 1. Clossi approach. Step 1, take the base. He doesn't have one. Alright. Step 2, surround. I'd cap here. This is fine. You're still surrounding, technically. I just don't know about pushing them... I don't know. You want to push them towards thickness. It's just, watch this cut. Were you watching? Because he was. I don't know if you can cut right now. Careful. I don't know if I push a second time. I just go here. And we get a lot of follows today. Thank you for the follows, everyone. Let me know if you have any questions. Yeah, just fix. Seems fine. Makes this stone a little weird. I was considering a Nobi as well. Learn to love Nobis and crosscuts. Okay, so this actually is good. This worked out nicely for you. This is the shape point for him, but I don't know if it's a shape point for you. This cut still technically works. So I kind of just want to fix. I don't know. Oh, I wouldn't do it now. Yeah, don't be greedy. Don't be greedy. Just nose to Suji. Actually, no, because that Atari does work. Haha. Yeah. Don't be greedy. Oof. The shape here. There's no the shape. The shape that's the problem is you're not fixing your cuts. That's the only thing downside here. The fight's still going well for you. This is the only downside that you lost points on. This one you gained, this one you lost. So you're not really watching your cutting points very well. Yeah, don't neglect those cutting points. I don't know about a Hane. I really want to surround it. Like, usually capping moves are better. Tiger's Mouth, I would check it. What do I want with the Prophet? Maybe just go play a big move and attack it later. Yeah. While he's running, he's actually building, so I'd be careful about that. But yeah, with those cutting points. Is your area the biggest framework, or is his the biggest framework? That is a question. I'd rather build this way. Because if you build this way, he can actually reduce while building. He can reduce you while building his. That's not big. Well, that was a nice exchange. No, ignore. It's about the center right now. Build that center. Okay, so you're completely fine now. So attack! 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 This move I don't think does anything. I think this is just a wasted move. So maybe a loose cap, because you don't really have a good shape here. Or a good connection here, so just loose cap. Let him run. And then come back and cap this, or maybe surround this. Or poke it. Or just block some points. I don't know. Just destroy his center and get some points. Yeah, pushing from behind is usually helping your opponent. So it looks like I'm seeing 2 problems here. Maybe 3. Problem number 1 is you don't check your cutting points. Right? Cutting points, like for defense, cutting points is important. Number 2 is I don't think you care about the center enough. And number 3, I don't think you surround your opponent effectively enough. So I think you can improve your attacking by surrounding more effectively and surrounding more often. You can improve your middle game by caring a little bit more about the center, and you can improve your defense by caring about cutting points. I think just those is already would make this game a lot better. You typically win off the center. Well, you're good at, your attacking is actually your greatest strength. It looks like your attacking is really good. This one just fell apart because of the cutting points. But your attack was actually doing really good. And your reading's also decent. But for some reason in the second half, you get a little bit passive too. I think in overtime, you get a little bit passive. I want to know what happens if I play here. Nothing. So close. So close to working. Ah, so close to working. I can't make it work. I want something to work here. Okay, can I threaten something? What if I go here? And lure him into a trap, maybe? But then he could just fix it with this move. I don't know. I want something to happen here, but I can't find any order to make it happen. Yeah, he fixed. Sad face. Isn't there a double peep here? Doesn't this just work? So we're in Yosei. This is a little bit greedy. He's really strong right here. This is greedy. Oh, will it work? Because he can't go right here. He has to go right here. Cutting points. Cutting points is the basics of attack and defense. Wait. What, don't we have to live? This doesn't even live, does it? Yeah, it does. But is this corner equal to these? Yeah, probably. That bites. But like, you're gonna die, and then all your moves are you should invade this. You're supposed to die if you invade that. You can't invade this late. Why is this going so dangerous for white? This is fine, right? Yeah, just no big deal. Scaring yourself. Your Byoyomi play is a little bit off. So the reading here isn't as accurate as earlier in the game, and this was just optimistic. This is trying without reading, and that wasn't good. So you lose this game, right? Oh hey, cutting points. Whoops. When did that happen? I know exactly when that happened. That happened when he connected his cutting point. Wait. Wait. That's fine. Because of liberties, and he killed himself. Oh boy. Okay, you did check that cutting point. Okay, that's good, that's good. You're paying more attention than I am, which you should be, because you're the player. You're the one playing the game. Can you connect that? Isn't there a Seki in there? There's a Seki in there, I believe. Okay, so now you win? Connect and Yosei, unless you need eyes. This is a co-threat. Oh, you do check your cutting points. Okay. I don't know, you had pretty good reading. Compared to this guy, anyway. I think you're just too optimistic. Hey look, co-threats. Oh, you want to see something? Here. It's a co-threat. Oops. Manhood go. That's not the way to do it. You do it this way. That way, there's another co-threat. But yeah, this is why we play connections. This isn't a co-threat. That's a co-threat. Janus battle shots make most of your co-threats. Yeah. I think you done goofed. You lost a couple points in that co. You have a very interesting game. I'm trying to think it's just a few small things, I think, that keeps you from getting stronger. Maybe you need more practice? How many games do you play? You play a lot. How do I select this thing down here? How do I select? My gosh, refresh. There we go. Okay, October 38 ranked games. You play a lot of games for an average person. And you're winning more than you're losing. You're doing good. I think you just need more practice. Why do you only play people weaker than you? Oh, hey. You ranked up to 8Q from 11Q this month. You're doing good. Wow. You have weird rank up and downs. Tech comp. So, I probably need to know more about how you approach the game, honestly. Your game looks good, it's just not consistent between the first half and the second half. And honestly, it just needs to be fine-tuned. Do you review your games? Are you reviewing your own games? Yeah, your opening was decent. But everything good starts with the opening. So if we look at it, it actually went good. I think where you're struggling is punishing your opponent. Checking the win rates. I think you need to see what category you messed up though. So for example, let's look at the win rate. Let's look at this. Okay, so it looks like you had a lead right here by 15 points, and then you dropped. So this means cutting points are important. Yep, so here you can say, okay, I made a mistake in this area. What was the mistake? In this case, you can categorize it as cutting points. Read your cut better or handle your cuts better. And you can look at the cutting points for the AI variations. Okay? This is a way to use the AI. Then over here, looks like you made another mistake. Yeah, cutting points again. Okay. And then you gain a lead back, which is good. And then here you lose a little bit. It's like, oh, why is white getting more? Because white's getting a center. Right? So this means that here you should say, oh, white's center is bigger than my center. I should destroy it. So you say, okay, biggest framework. That's the category. And you kind of do this over and over and over until you recognize what categories you're constantly messing up, and then you look specifically for those categories. Like maybe you can even take a tally sheet and say, what are the categories, and go. And then like give it yourself a tally out of 15 games or maybe 10 games. Give yourself a tally on what categories you messed up and see what your biggest mistakes are, and then really focus on fixing those and fix one or two at a time. And just see what is losing you the games. What makes you lose. So when I do with my students, as I review their games, and I'll actually show. Let me actually go to this. I want to see how much I can show. I want to show you guys a student sheet and how I analyze my students' games. Okay, so let's just take. Let's take this one. Alright, I don't want the personal information, so I'm just going to copy all this. Okay. We're going to go to this. Let's do a new sheet. We're going to paste it. Okay. Now we're in a unique sheet. Okay. So let's make this bigger, dude. Can I zoom? There we go. Okay, can you guys read this? I don't know if you can read this. It's blurry on mine, but I have a really small overlay. But at full screen if you can. I'm just zoomed in as much as I can zoom in. Okay, so every week, I keep track of the rank to see their progress. And this guy just went from 22Q to 15Q in 2 months. Right? How do we start? So first off, he was a beginner. I recommended like the Chinese rules, and then I tell him like how to get shapes, and then we talked about 9x9, and we started him on 9x9, and I gave him pretty much what categories to work on. So for 20Q, it was liberties and cutting points. So learn to see Ataris and always check your cutting points. And we talked about that, and then I gave like rough little notes over the lesson. And defense is watch your cuts and connections. Offense is check your opponents and disconnect them. And that was it. That was all it was at 20Q, 22Q, or whatever. And then we worked up to 13x13. So the second week I said, okay, you're ready for 13x13. So I said, play 13x13, and then I gave them a short lecture and gave them the notes from the lecture. And each of these categories, and I just give them like one or two like a few notes of the categories on how to approach it or what they're struggling with. So here's a good one, on 19Q. He developed a bad habit of following his opponent. And then I also noticed that when a mistake happened, the reading went to crap. Like all the moves became silly. And I said, okay, calm down. And this is actually how I analyze my students' games. And you can kind of do this with your own. And the AI you can kind of use the AI to do this. You have to be very careful with it, because the AI tells you everything, and you have to like simplify it and say, what can you apply, what can you not. You have to ignore a lot of information that the AI gives you. But if you just look at the big ups and downs in the graph and say, okay, what is the category, or what is the thing, you can actually divide it up into different categories. Like every week you can maybe write yourself some categories or some notes to work on every week, and then for that week you just work on those things and you have your little notes, and then you can look back and see what notes are you have that's repeating in the last month or something, and you can consult these all the time. And this is a good way to self-study. I mean, yeah, if you're getting lessons, then I do it for you, but this is a good way to self-study. Yeah, don't build a small center in Gote. Stop touching. Work on your middle game. And that's... Can you gift that? Yeah, sure, if you want. Do you want to do a giveaway, or should I do a giveaway? Yeah, if you want to do that, it's fine. So that's pretty much what I think you can do. Right now, what I think you're lacking is just more experience, more practice. You're kind of at that point where you have a lot of good information. You have a lot of good information, but now you need to like bring it all together and really sharpen your play. Really fine-tune it. Because if you notice, there was several times that you actually wasted moves. Like here, you're not playing on the biggest framework. Actually, that diagonal. This diagonal, it's kind of a wasted move. If you can get rid of that, I think, and like fine-tune all the information that you have, I think you can get to 5Q. If you want to teach your roommate, so the teaching can mess you up if you don't have really good fundamentals. Because when I teach very, very strictly fundamentals. And when I first started teaching, you can get a little bit weaker because you're exposed to bad play. Yeah, so teaching can make you weaker. That is true. But it can also make you more well-rounded and have a better understanding of the fundamentals. So, for example, your roommate plays something that's bad. And you're like, oh, this isn't good. And he goes, why? And you're like, I'm actually not sure. And then you start questioning, is it bad? And then you try it in your own games and you get destroyed. Because it is a bad move, you just couldn't remember why. And then you get punished and you're like, oh, that's why it's bad. I would say really fine-tune your fundamentals. I mean, I have the Clossi approach, so can I have all the fundamentals written down for everyone? So I guess just consult that. And then you can ask yourself every single move. Every single move. Your single-digit Q. You're trying to get to Dawn. Every single move needs to have value. So in this case, what value is this move getting? You should be attacking. You could attack like this. You could build your area in Sente even. Get value. And what's also important is I'm seeing a common theme that the second half of the game is a much lower quality than the first half. And I think that has to do with the fact that the fundamentals is not being applied in the second half. And the reason it is in the first half is because you have more time to think about it. But it means you have to think a lot about it to get to the fundamental move instead of just having an instinct for the fundamentals. and then reading from there. So you're supposed to know the fundamentals almost perfectly, and be able to answer those within 2 seconds. And then from there, it's just reading the best way to use the fundamentals. So I think right now you just need some practice and more fine-tuning. Because I gave you like small things to work on. Yeah, like you have a wasted move, you need to watch your cutting points, you need to stay on the biggest framework. But at the end of the day, it seems like you kind of know these things, you just aren't playing it perfectly every single turn. Yeah. Your fighting was good. Fighting is just unsettle and surround and cutting points. That's all fighting is. It's a lot simpler than you think. Don't overcomplicate fighting. Yeah, there are shapes at single-digit Q and reading that you have to think about, so it's not as simple as double-digit Q. You have to be a little bit more fine-tuned with reading. But the principles are still the same. Unsettle a group, surround the group, and gain profit. While you're fighting in attack and defense, watch cutting points and watch your own weaknesses. But other than that, just surround your opponent. It's really that simple. It's just how you execute that fundamental. That is what separates a strong player from a weaker player. Or from like a Don to a single-digit Q. Don players can do the fundamentals, more or less, every single turn. Like, every single turn. The difference is how effective they are at executing those fundamentals. How effective your attack is. Or how strong, or how sente, or how powerful. How well read out it is. Yeah. No, that's fine. So yeah, I think you're doing good. I think honestly, you just need more practice and fine tuning, but really think about those fundamentals. I think that's what you're lacking. Jesserak, if you want to redeem it, then I'll do the giveaway. If you just redeem it, then I'll just do the giveaway myself. But that's fine. Does that kind of give you some direction? I'm worried it's a little too abstract, but I want to give you like long-term stuff because that you can work on to improve. But I think you're doing good. I think the rank going up and down is probably inconsistency. So just make your game consistent at the same level. But it doesn't look like you have one bad area. It just looks like there's a few little holes in each area, and if you can improve that or patch those holes, I think it'll be really strong. Just 5Q plus. And then you'll have to learn more stuff. Alright.